Hey guys, welcome in, welcome in, welcome in. How's everybody doing tonight? Let me fix my shirt there a little, but welcome into the channel. Hopefully, you guys are having a great evening or great day, actually. Hopefully, the whole day was great. But it is the 18th of December already. Woo, getting close to that Christmas time, you know? If you do celebrate, it's getting close to that time. So if you guys have Christmas plans, let me know what they are in the chat. I'd love to know. Some people, they have work Christmas parties, or the hubby or the wife has a work Christmas party. So let me know if you guys have anything like that to do this year. I have nothing like that to do this year, which is really, really weird for me because Vincent's worked at the same place and they've had their same Christmas party every year. They're not doing the Christmas party. No Christmas party this year. So how about that? And True Crime Lullabies, thank you for gifting out memberships, and you gifted super chats. Thank you so much. I saw that in the chat. To go down there and see them. Hey, Ladybug. Number 2. There you go. Ashley was number 3. I love that you tell me what number yours are. I really like to know. I find it very humorous. I don't know. I find the humor in that. Kind of lets me know whenever you were here too. And you know who I miss? I miss our Cheryl. She needs to come back. I was thinking of her earlier today. Hey, Mandy. Hey, Mike. Hey, Mr. Rosebud. True Crime gifted 10 TitaniumBuilt memberships today. If you got one, make sure you tell her thanks. That's really nice. That's really, really nice. Ladybug. Is it, I don't know how to say it. Is it egglets? Egglets? Eaglets? And who has the eaglets? Is it Mike or is it Ladybug? Because I thought it was Ladybug that had them. Now I'm all confused. Now I don't know who had them or who has them or who doesn't. But can we all take turns taking care of them? I'd love to have an eagle at my house. Probably fly far, far away from me, but aren't they endangered? Probably. Hey, Ashley. Yeah, welcome in new subscribers or new members or both. If you're new to the channel, my name's Tanya or TitaniumBuilt. You can call me either or. It doesn't matter. I don't prefer one over the other one. So just going to say hi to some people in chat, and then we'll get into tonight's case coverage because it is wild. It's wild. Let me tell you. I wish I could like teleport to places, and be there. But unfortunately, it's too far. It's way too far for me. Thank you for the Dial 99 super sticker, though. Thank you. I appreciate that. I really do appreciate that. That was very nice. Hey, CJK. And I knew you did a $5 one as well. Thank you so much. Vincent was over there looking at my gifts today. Told him not to be snooping because the gift wrap is legit. Like whoever did that was legit. Makes me want to buy some of that kind of gift wrap and start doing my gift wrapping like that from nowadays. You did your work party today? Oh, did you have fun? I bet that was fun. Hey, Trixies. I know. About to get a hold of Cheryl. I know. I wonder if I have her. I should have her email because she sends me. Yeah. Why haven't I? I kept thinking I didn't have her email, but I do have her email because she sent me pictures of the baby. I'm going to write it down on my Post-it note and stick it there so I can remember to do that. How are you doing today, Villanova? Oh, thank you. That was so nice of you. That was so nice. Yeah, Vincent's been trying to peek, I think, and I'm like, you just back it up, buddy. Because they did have a couple things that were packaged loosely in there, but before I could see what they were, I closed my eyes. I'm a changed woman. I'm a changed woman from when I was a kid. Because I don't know if you guys were like that, but I was a kid that snooped. I snooped everywhere. I snooped until I couldn't snoop. I snooped until I found it. They would have my parents would have to literally wrap our gifts. We would never open them. We would never do that. Because our mama would get us, mess up her wrapping, you know. But if they weren't wrapped, I was looking for them. I was looking. You knew better, not me. I didn't know any better. I told on myself one time. I said, I looked in every closet but where my bike is. I was getting a bike that year, so I was excited about that. I was like, I looked in every closet but where my bike was at. And my dad had to play a joke, like he had to be like, no, that's not your bike. That's for your cousin. I remember him telling me that, and talk about a kid, sad. It was really for me, but he didn't want. I mean, way to get back at me. Probably didn't check after that. Hey, Chosen. Well, welcome back. Look at the cat. That's cute. How are you doing? How are you doing? Hopefully you're having a great holiday season. Let us know if you have anything big planned. Oh, see, I didn't unwrap nothing. I just closed my eyes and stuffed them in the stockings. Oh, okay. The Eagles are in Fort Myers. Okay. I was just making sure. I didn't know. I thought maybe you had them, Ladybug. That's what I thought. Yeah, I stopped looking, I think, after that. I think I did stop looking after that one. I think that one got me hard. You know what I mean? Because my dad was like, that's not for you. Like, and he could say it with a straight face. My mom, I'm pretty sure she had to leave the damn room. Because she probably was laughing like too hard. And I was a kid, I was a little thing. Like, when this happened, it was before I turned 9, because it was before we moved. So I was under 9. And I'm thinking I was more like, thinking this was my first big kid's bike. So I would have been like 7, something like that. I ended up wrecking the big kid's bike over a car. Yeah. Me and bikes, we don't do well together. So is everything okay? Like everything was salvageable, Ashley, at your house? Like you didn't lose any of your Christmas trees, did you? You probably didn't decorate as many this year. Or did you decorate as many? Hey, Reba. Man, I bet you that your hands are hurting. I would stab myself with the things that you get. I don't know what they're called. I don't know what they're called, but you know what I'm talking about. People that use those, like, what are they called? You guys will know them. Like for like quilting. They told me that was like a thing that I wouldn't be good at. And I can't remember the name of it. But it's like quilting. It's kind of like quilting or something, but there's another word for it. But yeah, I wouldn't be good at that, they said. So I was like, okay, well, take that off the to-do list. And it's been a while since we've seen you, Chosen. It's good to see you. Yeah, okay. I thought maybe that's what I thought. Crochet, that's what it is, Naomi. Thank you. Thank you, Chosen. Crochet. Even Chosen knew. Chosen was like, crochet. I could not think of it. Could not think of it. Crochet, yeah, because like the vision. So, which I never crocheted anything anyway. I was never good at that kind of stuff. We had to make a pillow in home economics. And my pillow, it was sad. It was a sad pillow. It really was. It was the worst. Yeah, crocheting needles. I don't know if Reba uses crocheting needles or not. Or if she just does her hands. Because I know some people can do it like big chunky blankets, they could do it with their hands. I need to learn how to do that. Maybe someday. But before we get started with tonight's live, which we should have been started by now, we are going to do so on the second channel, our other channel today, Unfiltered with Tanya. We went over this. Reba actually gave us the idea, and it's called Elfster. And basically, it's like a Secret Santa database that you can, add your group to, and you can have like a group Secret Santa. Now, I know Santa Claus is coming on the 25th. He's already like on his way. He's done packing up the toys. He's doing the whole thing. But I know a few few of you guys wanted to do that. And so if you guys still want to do that, just, we'll make it for a different date. It could be by whenever, like by the first of the year or something, if you guys want to do it that way. And then we can sign up all together as a group. I'll just pull up the web page together and we'll just go through it just like we were, since we're going to be a group of doing it together. So I thought we would do it together tomorrow. And I thought we would do it at like 6:00, something like that. I have it scheduled. Aries, what's going on? It's on fire. It's on fire. Who's out there? I can only imagine. I can only imagine. I can only imagine. Wow. The YouTube streets are burning. Okay, so we'll go ahead. We'll get started. I wanted to go over this case with you guys because they're going through their preliminary hearing. So like Brian Kohlberger, I like to use him as an example because a lot of us came in on his case, but he waived his preliminary hearing. So for that week or those 5 days, we didn't get to hear, some of that evidence that the prosecution was going to use against him in that case. So unlike Brian Kohlberger, these 5 were going to, keyword, were going to, they started blabbing before the gavel went down today. They were blabbing, but they were starting their preliminary hearings today. So the 5, the 5 misfits, we got Tiffany Adams, we've got Tad Collum, her boyfriend, Cora and Cole Twombly. Sorry, couldn't get their name out there. And Paul Grice is the 5th. The victims here in this case are going to be the ladies on your screen here. Do I have this up? I do. Okay. Just making sure I had it pulled up. Veronica Butler on the left and Jilian on the right. So we'll go through this article. It'll give us a little bit of what we're going to get into tonight's live, and we'll go from there. There hasn't been a lot of coverage on this. Now, I know one true crime channel that's covered in this case, like from the courtroom, and that's Carrie Moody. And she and Tara, I don't know Tara's last name. I feel so bad, but they have a YouTube channel together. And that's basically, I was trying to listen to that and then read as much as I could read. So tomorrow we'll go over this. What I plan on doing is listening to, day 2 tomorrow on my way to do the Botox and do the nerve tests. So I'll have plenty of time to listen to things tomorrow. So nobody delete anything. Not them ladies, they wouldn't, but no one else delete anything. Sometime between September and October 2023, Tiffany Adams issued a warning about what would happen if anyone tried to take her young grandchildren. A murder investigation found. Bodies would fall, she reportedly said. The grandmother months later orchestrated a double murder to keep the boy and girl from their mother, Veronica Butler. The Oklahoma State Bureau of Investigation reported in court affidavits. And we read through all 5 affidavits. Well, we read through Tad Collum's because his had all 5 of the affidavits, plus he had 2 extra paragraphs in his. Since the bodies were buried on his property. That's what the 2 extra paragraphs were. On Tuesday, a judge will begin hearing testimony at a preliminary hearing for Adams, 55, her boyfriend, Tad, 44, and a third defendant, Cole Twombly, 50. You might be asking yourself, well, what about Paul Grice and Cora Twombly? Well, them sons of guns took a deal. They said, we don't want to go to jail for the rest of our lives. Probably should have thought about that before this, but they, I don't know if it'll say it in this article, but Paul Grice is getting, the DP is getting taken off the table for him. We're going to find out tonight that he unalived both women, both of them. Earlier on, we were led to believe something different. So there's that. And then Cora took a deal and she will be out if she pleads guilty, I believe they said. If she pleads guilty to the 2 homicides, she could be out, being the key word, paroled in 30 years. Now, but they're going to tell us everything that happened. And remember how I kept saying the tractor, trailer truck? I couldn't figure out how that, I'm trying to think of my word, how it all fit into all of this. And everyone was like, well, that's how they transported them. And I wasn't sure because I couldn't find it anywhere. Well, apparently, yeah, that's how they did. And Paul describes a moment where he believes one of the ladies is going to wake up. So we'll hear about that tonight as well. So there's a lot. They went in today and they just started blabbing. Thank you, Faith. I need to put you guys up on my other screen. I always forget. And then I'm on another screen when I'm reading. So then it's hard to see you guys. If I do this, I don't have notes up here. So I don't know why. We'll just use this other screen. Here we go. Look at that. Where were we? Yeah, I didn't know about the deal. Well, I knew about Paul Grice. I knew he was going to talk, but I didn't know that Cora was. Now, I kind of thought, well, I said it on the lives, well, what is she doing? Because Cora was getting the public defender when Cole was getting the actual real attorney. They were going to pay out of pocket for his, but he said that she had to get a public defender. And I said right then and there, I would divorce him. And I would talk about it. But they do have that, as of right now, they're still married. So they do have that confidentiality between them two that they can use. If you are married, you do not have to make any incriminating statements towards your spouse. So after hearing the testimony, hold on. I think we missed. Okay. It says 2 other defendants, Paul Grice, 32, and Cora Twombly, 45, are being called by the prosecution to testify against them. Cole and Cora Twombly are married. They each did their respective part, prosecutors alleged, in legal filings in September. And I don't know if you guys remember on the last live, I did that courtroom mock-up where I showed you where they were going to be sitting. I don't know if they're just going to take those tables out and leave everybody else where they are. That I haven't figured out yet. I'll have to see about somebody that's actually in the courtroom and ask them. After hearing the testimony, it says the Associate District Judge Clark Jett will determine whether the prosecution has sufficient evidence for the case to go to trial. The hearing in Texas County District Court could last 3 days. Only 3 days, and there's 5 of them. I guess that's all they need. So victims were ambushed on a highway in Oklahoma, Panhandle, investigators say. So if you I don't remember the backstory, it kind of tells you a little bit here. Killed March 30th were Butler, 27, and Jilian Kelley, 39. Adams hated and despised Butler and wanted her dead, prosecutors alleged in the legal filing. Adams had been taking care of the children, then 6 and 8, at her home in Keys. The OSBI reported that paternal grandmother was in a problematic custody battle with their mother, who had been seeking extended visitation. The next court hearing in the custody dispute was set for April 17th. And they were dead March 30th. Investigators say the victims were ambushed on a highway in the Oklahoma Panhandle as they drove from Kansas to pick up the children for a birthday party. Kelley, a pastor's wife, was along to supervise the visit. The case attracted national attention after the women went missing, and again when the defendants were identified as belonging to an anti-government group called God's Misfits. Adams also had formerly been chair of the Cameron County Republican Party. So held pretty prestigious kind of title in the, town. The women had been stabbed multiple times, possibly after stun guns were used against them, according to their autopsy reports. And we read those when they came out the last month or so, over the last month. The bodies were found on April 14th in a large sealed freezer that had been buried in a cow pasture that was leased by Courtroom. Underneath the freezer was a stun gun, a roll of tape, a sheathed knife, and clothing, according to the autopsy reports. Prosecutors alleged Adams purchased burner phones so the conspirators could communicate. They alleged she also purchased the stun devices and the yellow straps used to secure the freezer. Prosecutors allege her boyfriend Courtroom used a skid steer to dig the hole, stabbed Kelley, drove the bodies from the ambush site to the cow pasture, and buried them in the freezer. And I'm telling you, I heard today that it was Paul that unalived both of them. So I don't know if this will I don't know why it's saying this. We'll have to see. We'll have to see about that. Let me see if it says. I know I heard that today. But I'm going to double check and I'll let you guys know probably today or tomorrow. Because if I have to listen to the live, if I have to listen to the live again, I might have to do that. Because now I'm really, Because when I heard it, I was like, huh. So let's see. Prosecutors alleged Grisly stabbed Butler, slicing his own hand during the ambush. Cole and Cora were the lookouts the day of the murders and confided in their daughter in hope of receiving an alibi. Adams issued the warnings about bodies falling when James Taylor, then the Cameron County Sheriff, made a welfare check on the children. The OSBI reported in court affidavits. Prosecutors have not said yet if they will seek the death penalty for Adams, Courtroom, and Cole Twombly. All three face 2 counts of first-degree M, a count of conspiracy to commit M, 2 counts of unlawful removal of a dead body, and 2 counts of unlawful desecration of human corpse. Adams also faces 2 counts of child neglect. Grisly and Cora Twombly waived their preliminary hearings. Now, you remember the Whites, the couple that babysat the kids the day that the murders took, like the day before the murders, and then the morning of the murders, like Tiffany didn't go and pick up the kids till noon that day. Well, apparently them people, I've been screaming their name over here on my channel, like, who are these people and why are they not arrested too? Because for surely they would know something was up, because that was Veronica's day to pick up the kids. They'd be like, why do we still have these kids if Veronica's supposed to pick these kids up, right? Like, don't act stupid to me. They moved out of state, apparently. Apparently they moved out of state. That don't say you're guilty. I don't know what does. Guilty of something. So we'll listen to this short video here. It just talks about the preliminary hearings, and we'll pause it here and there because they do say a lot. They say a lot. And thanks for being here, guys.
5 people charged with murdering 2 Southwest Kansas mothers in court in less than 12 hours. The preliminary hearing for Tiffany Adams, Tad Courtroom, and Cole Twombly.
This is when they walked into court last time, like the first time ever.
Get underway at 9 o'clock in the morning in Texas County, Oklahoma. Julia Thatcher has been tracking this story.
So we got Grandma in the top left, her boyfriend in the top right, and then Smiley, that's what I like to call him, my guy Smiley down here. Cole Twombly, looks like he's smiling under that mustache. You got him down at the bottom.
Story since Jilian, Kelley, and Veronica Butler disappeared in March. She is in Guyman with a preview of what to expect in court.
The preliminary hearings are for Tiffany Adams, Tad Courtroom, and Cole Twombly. Subpoenas are giving us an idea of who we may hear from. That includes an employee of Big R Standard Supply. Court documents say that is where Tiffany Adams bought 5 stun guns before the murders of Veronica Butler and Jilian Kelley. The medical examiner's report noted possible stun gun marks on both women and that a stun gun was found underneath the buried freezer where the women were found. Another person subpoenaed, Jamie Beasley. Beasley owns the property where their bodies were dug up. Court documents say prepaid phones bought by Tiffany Adams last transmitted a signal near the Twombly's home and the Beasley's property. These preliminary hearings give prosecutors a chance to lay out evidence and for a judge to decide.
Look at that. I mean, there ain't nothing in sight. I feel so bad for these women. Not even a building that you could yell to. Who was the damn judge that made Four Corners desolate gas station their meetup? That's what I want to know. I want to know who the judge was that made that the decision. Whose decision was that? I know that it was supposed to be because it was like in the middle, but I'm pretty sure you could have picked anywhere else that would have been a little better than that.
Decide if there is enough to go to trial. Cora Twombly and Paul Grice both waived their right to a preliminary hearing. They are appearing next in February. The DA did file a motion to have Paul Grice and Cora Twombly as witnesses. So there is a chance that we could hear from them during these prelims. They are set to last for 3 days. Here for you in Guyman, Oklahoma, Julia Thatcher, KSN News 3.
And going in depth on a timeline of this case, Veronica and Jilian disappeared during a custody exchange of Veronica's children in Texas County, March 30th. Tiffany Adams, Ted Colum, and Cora Twombly were arrested April 14th. The same day, investigators dug up 2 bodies in a rural part of the county. Paul Grice was arrested April 23rd. He and the 4 others were originally charged with first-degree murder, kidnapping, and conspiracy. In October, charges against Adams, Colum, and Cole Twombly were amended to murder, unlawful removal of a dead body, and unlawful desecration of a human corpse. Adams is also charged with child neglect. The charges against Grice and Cora Twombly are still the original ones. The district attorney has not said why their charges were not changed. Tomorrow's preliminary hearings begin 9 o'clock in the morning. Julia Thatcher will have live reports throughout the day.
Yeah, I wonder why. Interesting. What's this? Okay, it's nothing. I just wanted to make sure we weren't missing anything. So we'll play this video really quick. It's just like another 2-minute video, but it just talks about the plea deals that were reached between Paul and Cora. I guess they're the weakest links in this case so far. I mean, it's even going to come down to, they're going to say that Cole is the one that made up the name God's Misfits just on a whim because they consider themselves different than other people and that they weren't really this enterprise or club, but they just hung out with each other. No, I don't believe that. I don't believe that one. I believe that I think they sold it to Paul like it was going to be exciting or something. I don't know what they would say to him. I mean, she had to have sold this to sell this idea to 4 other people. It just amazes me. Now I could see like the boyfriend, maybe getting him on board. But the married couple that has nothing to do with her other than being a friend, and they weren't even friends that long. This wasn't like they were friends for years. This was months. One of them, Cole, he didn't even know he was doing anything till like the day of or the day before. He didn't even know this shit was going down. Oh, by the way, honey, can you imagine what Cora said? Hey, honey, tomorrow I forgot to let you know, but we gotta go kill 2 ladies over in Oklahoma. What? That would be my reaction. Hell no would be my reaction. What are you talking about? Apparently he knew something, but maybe he thought they were going to go through with it. I don't know.
Good evening. Thank you for joining us tonight. I'm Jeff Herndon. Continuing coverage now of a story we've been tracking for you all day. Preliminary hearings for 2 of the 5 suspects accused of murdering Jilian, Kelley, and Veronica Butler are happening this week. Cora Twombly and Paul Grice both took plea deals. As part of that, they testified in court today. Julia Thatcher and Peyton Steiner have the only Kansas cameras at the courthouse in Guyman, Oklahoma, with a look at what new testimony revealed.
We learned Paul Grice killed both Jilian, Kelley, and Veronica Butler. He said
Did they say it right there?
He first
in Oklahoma, with a look at what new testimony revealed.
We learned Paul Grice killed both Jilian, Kelley, and Veronica Butler.
Okay, I wasn't going nuts. Okay. I thought I was for a minute, but I was like, no, I heard that somewhere, so it must have been out of her mouth. So Paul unalived Jilian and Veronica.
He said he first stabbed Veronica Butler, and then both women's bodies were put into a trailer. He said he was in the back of that trailer with the women's bodies being driven to where the burial site was. And he
So they bring the trailer, they unalive, or they think they do, they unalive the two ladies. I guess they just put them in the back of the trailer. And Paul Grice gets in the back of the trailer with them. I mean, if there was an officer on the road that day, would he have stopped that? Like, wondering why there's a guy in the back of the trailer? I would want to know.
To panic. Jilian's eyes began to flutter. He said he didn't know if it was the bumpy roads or if she was waking up. He said he thought about how scared Jilian would be if they buried her alive in that freezer, so he stabbed her. Paul and Cora both testified that.
Well, that makes all the sense in the world. Oh, I think she might be still alive. Oh, I shouldn't save her. Just go ahead and stab her again. Okay.
Leading up to the murders, Tiffany Adams and Tad Coulombe shared allegations that Tiffany's grandchildren were being abused by someone in Veronica's family. Paul said he never asked for proof, and the DA told Cora
never asked for proof
that the people accused in the.
If somebody says my children are being, or my grandchildren are being, abused by their mother's uncle or something, I want to unalive them. I'm just saying, if I was Paul Grice, I'd at least be like, can we check that story? Like, can I get some, a receipt on that? Instead of saying anything like that, he just says, sure, let's do it. Like, I don't get it.
Allegations are minors, so all of the court documents would have been sealed, and there wouldn't be any court documents to show. Cora and Paul both said Cole did not have involvement in the plan to kill the women until either the day before or just days before. Cora said Tiffany did not want him involved because he drank and talked when he drank.
That's rich, Cora. You're the one taking the deal. You're the one that told your daughter that there was no more problem. You also told your daughter that if you weren't home at 10 o'clock the next morning, it's because you were busy on a mission. You're the one that told your daughter to go clean up the truck. But Cole has the problem with the mouth. He must have just been sober this whole time. But she said he's a drunk. Don't let him do anything. He'll tell on us.
They also said about 15 people met as part of what's being called God's Misfits, but that the four of them, Tiffany, Tad, Paul, and Cora, were a subgroup, and that the others were not involved in the planning or the murders of Jilian, Kelley, and Veronica Butler. Paul and Cora both testified.
So they had a bigger group, but they were a subgroup. I don't believe that some of these people didn't hear something.
That Tiffany Adams told them a court supervisor would be with Veronica Butler on the day of the murders. Cora said that when she asked Tiffany, she referred to Jilian as collateral damage. And Paul testified that when they asked who the court supervisor would be, that Tiffany said it was a nobody. The state wrapped up their questions for Paul Grice today. Next, the attorneys for Tad Coulombe and Cole Twombly will have an opportunity to question Paul. Here for you in Guyman, Oklahoma, Julia Thatcher, KSN News 3.
Okay. KNS is like the only news channel that's like out there right now. That I know of that's out there right now, other than like the Oklahomian. But I don't think they have videos. I think they just have like articles. But it says a grandmother accused of orchestrating a double murder in the Oklahoma Panhandle now faces a jury trial. Tiffany Adams, 55, on Tuesday waived both her preliminary hearing and her right to a speedy trial. She knows her next court appearance is scheduled for April 16th. I mean, she could see the writing on the wall. A judge then began taking evidence and hearing testimony to determine whether her boyfriend, Tad Burt Cullum, 44, and Cole Twombly, 50, will face trial too. Testifying against them Tuesday was Cora Twombly, 45, who struck a deal to plead guilty to the two murders in exchange for 30 years in prison. She has been married to Cole Twombly for 9 years. A fifth defendant, Paul Grice, 32, began testifying Tuesday afternoon. And he had the most to lose. He was the youngest. He had a family. He had wife, a kid, little kids. I just don't. I mean, I wonder what his wife said to him. Other than you're the biggest dumbass piece of shit like I've ever met. I mean, really, what else do you say? What else do you say to him? Like, he decided to ruin all three of your, I think there's three kids, I think, instead of two. I think there's 3 kids and the wife. So 4 people right there. And then their extended family and everybody. How dare he? I'd be so mad. The case attracted national attention after the women who went missing again when the defendants were identified as belonging to an anti-government group called God's Misfits. Also, Adams at the time was the chair of the Cameron County Republican Party, which we already read about that. And it says the hearing in Texas County District Court before Associate Judge Clark Jett was held under extreme scrutiny. All the defendants wore bulletproof vests. Where do you kind of know what happened to them? It's the same. Yeah. It says that Grice and Cora waived their preliminary hearings earlier. A waiver of a preliminary hearing often means the defendant has reached a deal. However, after Adams' waiver, District Attorney George Leach III announced that she still has a right to a jury trial. Also, her defense attorney, Mitch Solomon, remained in court taking notes. He declined to comment afterwards. Yeah. I bet he probably did decline to comment afterwards. So they're going to talk about the preliminary hearings again. And they're going to talk about Tiffany's already been escorted from the courthouse. Bye-bye, Tiffany.
The preliminary hearings for Tad Cullum and Cole Twombly are currently on break. KSN's Julia Thatcher just stepped out of the courthouse. Julia, great to have you on the Noon Show. Run us through what happened this morning.
Hey, Mike. Yeah, we are getting a first look at how this group formed called God's Misfits, the 5 suspects who are arrested for the murders of Jilian, Kelley, and Veronica Butler. So we are hearing from Cora Twombly a little bit about that, how the group formed. So first, how they all came to be. A lot of them grew up together. They grew up in the same area between Keys and Boise City, Oklahoma. So what Cora said in her testimony is that her and Cole were watching videos, learning about their constitutional rights. Paul Grice came by to buy a puppy, started those conversations, and that was the beginning of how the group formed. Later, we learned that Tad and Tiff.
So them two are sitting on the couch talking about constitutional rights. Paul Grice comes over to buy a puppy. And there it was. There it was born. God's Misfits.
Tiffany joined that group, and that Cora and Tiffany began to bond over the fact that they both had children with addiction issues who struggled with addiction. Cora said that her stepson had passed away from struggles with addiction, and they bonded over that. So as that group began to form in 2021, they began to have those conversations about constitutional rights, and Tiffany then confided in Cora about issues she was having, custody issues with her grandchildren. And so that was all between 2021. And then in about 2023, that began the conversations about needing to, get rid of Veronica. Tiffany no longer had the money, according to Cora in her testimony, to afford to try to get custody of her grandchildren. And so that began kind of the conversation about how to get rid of Veronica.
Running out of money. She was getting desperate.
There was a first murder attempt in February, according to Cora's testimony, and that attempt was actually supposed to happen on Veronica's birthday on February 28th.
on the woman's birthday. We already knew about the prior anvil. They were going to use an anvil, and then they went to her house. That was the time that they went to her house. But what did they say? Like, come on out here. We want to give you a birthday present. She was so smart to say no. I mean, obviously, you would say no. Don't get along with each other, but
that plan, though, didn't happen. And then in the month of March, they began putting together a new plan of how to get rid of Veronica, again, according to Cora's testimony. So in March, between those 30 days, between March 1st and March 30th is really the timeline that Cora is giving us of when that plan came to be. She's walking us through what their plan was and then ultimately what she says happened. And she said things didn't go as planned. She was supposed to be the lookout that day. She said where she pulled off on the side of the road, she could see two people running from a trailer between Veronica Butler's car and a trailer. And she didn't specify who that was, but she did say later that she could see Paul Grice and Veronica struggling on the ground, Paul Grice's arms moving up and down. She said she didn't see a knife, but she assumed that was Paul Grice stabbing Veronica. She also said the group didn't know until the day before that it was going to be Jilian Kelley who was going to be with Veronica. They said that they knew a court-appointed supervisor would be with her, but they didn't specify who. It also was somebody who was on an approved list that Veronica had selected. And when there were questions about if they were okay with it being Veronica, Cora said that they weren't necessarily okay with it, but that she was helping Veronica. And so by association, she had to be killed. And so Cora's walking us through all of these details, giving us this information. I also watched to see if there was any eye contact. We mentioned earlier that Tiffany waived her right to a preliminary hearing and a speedy hearing, a speedy trial. She is not in the courtroom. I'm looking to see if there's eye contact between Cora and Cole, who is her husband, and then also Tad, who's in the courtroom as well. And I'm not seeing any eye contact. Cora is telling us that Cole wasn't supposed to be involved necessarily. A week before, they needed a fifth person to help be a lookout. And she's saying that's when Cole got brought into the situation.
Okay. So she's going to, no, you're a liar. You're trying to save your husband or something. I don't know what you're trying to do here, Cora, but you're not married to someone for 9 years. And I know what it's like. Me and Vince have been together 9 years. If I'm going down for something, he's my ride or die. He's going with me. There's no way that I would be able to hold a secret like this from I don't know. I feel like right away, Cole would know something was going on with Cora. How would Cora do these? Like, how would she plan this whole thing with, Tiffany and all them if she couldn't talk to them? I mean, if she was talking to them a lot, Cole would be like, why are you talking to them all the time? I mean, I'm sure, right? I just think that he knew a lot more. They needed a fifth person. Yeah. So pick him and tell my daughter what I'm doing.
And so again, we're in this break right now. We're at the point where the murders have happened and we're learning what's happening right directly after the murder. So we'll learn that when we go back in from the recess. For now, in Guyman, Julia Thatcher, KSN News 3.
Wow. It's a lot. It's a lot to, Thanks, Demon Dog. Yeah, 9 years been together with that man. It'll be 9 years actually in February. So don't let me fib you. It'll be 9 years. We're closing in on the 9-year mark. I can't believe it's been that long. I can't believe I've actually got him to put up with me that long. Like, for real. Joke's on him. Don't tell him that. Don't tell him that. I think I've watched this 3 times today. But they're just going to kind of go over what we kind of heard. I think there's a couple new things in this one though that we didn't hear in the other videos. It seems like each video has something new to add. So tomorrow, like I said, I'm going to listen into a couple podcasts and from some people that are there actually like in court and hear what they have to say. Cause people that do podcasts or YouTube, they're going to have a different outlook than maybe the news agencies, and it might be it might be better. You never know. So, like I said, I've plenty of time to listen tomorrow, and I'll make sure I do.
And he talked about how he had to chase her out of the trailer, that he tackled her while he was trying to tase her. He numbed his own arm. Then he was on top.
He tased his own self. If two women didn't die, this would almost be comedic. Because he slices his own hand too when he's stabbing him. You can tell he wasn't made for this. He wasn't made for this job. Whoever gave Paul Grice the job to unalive both of these women, I don't know what you were doing to that guy. I mean, it's his own decision, but I think it was like, you're the youngest, you're the most impressionable. We're gonna get you on board. I don't know, because he slices his finger almost off, and now he tases himself. This is the stuff you can't make up. This is the stuff that just, it makes my heart happy that he did.
He talked about how he had to chase her out of the trailer, that he tackled her while he was trying to tase her. He numbed his own arm. Then he was on top of her.
Why did he tackle her? Why didn't he tase her then?
He didn't know what to do. He was starting to, like, his mind was melting down. It was just all a frenzy, and he started stabbing her. He pulled out his knife and started stabbing her. And it turns out that Cora Twombly saw that. She said she saw a motion that he was making of, like, with his arms going up and down. She assumed he was stabbing her. And then, as he discussed this, as he talked about it, he said that they didn't make any noise. And this is the thing that just, like, this really was awful. That there was no more blinking, and that the light, that the light came out of her eyes, and he fell to the ground. And he said that Grandma Tiffany, was walking around in a circle laughing, and it was the fullest laugh he had ever heard. And that's when Veronica's dad screamed out the word bitch.
I would too. Can you imagine Grandma Adams, Grandma Tiffany, these women? Well, Paul's rallied them up, lassoed them up. I think we're going to find out that he was lassoing them, but either way, he got them, unalived them. And then Grandma Tiffany just thinks it's the funniest thing ever. That's evil. That's just pure evil.
About Tiffany, the whole courtroom was sobbing. It got so loud as Paul tried to continue on with his testimony. The judge stopped the proceedings, and he really took control of the courtroom. All the lawyers went up to the bench. Then he asked them to step back. They had a conference of really quick. And the judge said, this is an American courtroom. These defendants are entitled to due process, just as the state is entitled to it. And he cautioned and told everyone that was sobbing. I mean, it really had become a cacophony of just, like, total grief in there. I've never heard anything like it.
Oh my God.
And he told them to step outside if they couldn't, manage to control themselves, but nobody did leave.
Did they talk at all about motive? I mean, obviously they're pinning this somewhat on Grandma Tiffany, and she seemed like the ringleader from all the reporting that we've done of God's Misfits and of the group. But did they talk at all about why they were convinced by her to do this?
Cora kind of scoffed at the God's Misfits thing, saying that it really was just something Cole said about how they didn't fit in anywhere and that they were God's Misfits. But I'm not convinced about that testimony yet. Yes, there was a motive. They talked about how Tiffany had repeatedly, Paul Grice actually went on and on about this, that she told him she had evidence of the sexual abuse of Veronica's children by her brother. This is something that we had reported earlier, that
so it was by her brother. Where's the proof? Grandma Tiffany, I'd love you to be able to, I would love it if they would make you show that damn proof.
A video where the brother confessed to the sexual abuse, and that Tad had a huge document, 30-page document that he kept locked in a safe at his house. And he said, I never asked to see anything, and that was my mistake. but that it was something that she.
Yeah, that was your mistake. You couldn't ask to see the documents, the 30 pages or any of it before you unalive 2 people and ruin your whole life, Paul Grice. Man.
He preyed upon the hate in his heart for having been abused as a child as well, physically is what he alluded to. And that he did, but he did it and he took responsibility for it. But Cora also talked about how it was heartbreaking and that she was sure the abuse was going to continue because the court system had not helped at all, except for having visitation. I mean, there was visitation with somebody, a supervisor. That's what Jilian Kelley was doing there.
So the fact, Allison, that these 2 have now turned and are testifying what seems like on behalf of the prosecution and telling the whole story of what they say happened. Do we know, there's got to be a deal, right? Like, what's the motivation
Oh, yeah,
now?
there were 2. They both had a deal, and they had to mention it. Paul Grice took a deal so that he wouldn't have to be, he could escape the death penalty. And Cora Twombly has a suspended sentence. She'll serve at least 30 years in court.
Okay.
Sorry. The other thing I wanted to say is this whole thing about Jilian Kelley, it turns out that Grice also killed her, that he killed her in the in the trailer on his way to the burial site, that she looked like she was alive. And Grice said her eyelids were fluttering and that he thought she's going to wake up alive in that freezer and it will be horrifying. So sort of intimating that it was out of pity, he stabbed her in the neck.
None of this was out of pity.
Oh my God.
3 times.
I remember seeing the horse trailer. We went out there where they allegedly buried the freezer. I mean, if you can see this land, this is like right out of a horror movie. It's awful. So this was day 1 of the testimony. What can we? I mean, this is apparently going to go on for 2 more days. What else? It's already all this shocking stuff today. What do you think is going to happen tomorrow?
Well, I think it was shocking because we saw that different people weren't having preliminary hearings, and we didn't know that the reason Paul Grice's preliminary hearing was he wanted to go solo was because he had turned against everybody. Tomorrow, we're going to hear cross-examination of Paul Grice, so he's going to be somebody's going to, for the other defense attorneys, for the defendants that are in there, Cole and Tad. It's kind of interesting. It looks like Tiffany already declined. She actually waived her right to a preliminary hearing and also a speedy trial. So she didn't sit through it today. She was whisked out at the very beginning. Tomorrow, I think we're going to hear about the burial site, and we're going to hear from the owner of that land who leased it to Tad. And we're going to hear about what went down there. And I think it's going to be just as upsetting for the families. I've covered a lot of trials, and I know you have too. I've never seen anything like today.
Thanks for watching.
Well, I will be making sure that you guys all get the information. It's not public court, no. So you have to come through me. I'm like, also you have to come through me. No, you don't have to come through me. There are other creators that are covering it. Not a lot. I think there's just one other creator covering it. That's Carrie and her friend Tara. That's 3 people. But I don't really think there's a whole lot of people covering it. But when it was going on, wasn't everybody covering it? I hate when people would be doing that. When it's a case and it, like once it's out of the spotlight, they're just like, bye. Like they never even heard of the case before. See you later. I like to hear the court proceedings. I like to know it all. So yeah, so they can't have any cameras in there. They only thing they can have is like the news agencies go in there and write out notes, which stinks. If I was closer to Oklahoma, I'd go out that way, but I'm not close to that area at all. I'm in Ohio. So let me go over to their Facebook. Let's see if there's anything. It says that Tad remains, he'll go to trial, but it doesn't say anything about Cole. So that's kind of, And So all of them have waived their preliminary except for Tad. Why would he want a preliminary? He doesn't feel like they have enough evidence against him to take him to trial? Or is he that bored in his cell and he's like, let's just go ahead and get a week out of here, a few days out of here. I mean, I could see people doing that too. I could see criminals doing that. Like what, you know what I mean? If they're criminals are bad people. So what's to say that they don't just become even worse and they're just like, forget it. We want to sit through the whole trial. We want to do all of it, which just sucks for the families. But they could do that, which I don't think they should, but they could. So I'm glad that some of them are waiving their preliminary. Now, I wonder what Tiffany thinks she's going to get. I think she thinks she's going to get a deal. She's not going to get a deal. They're not going to give her anything. Sorry, I can't sit still. This chair is not comfortable tonight. I'm like all over the place. But if you guys are just now joining us, I wanted to tell at the end of the live as well. We're a little late in that game, but some of you guys wanted to do like a Secret Santa. So I'm going to put together this thing called Elfster. And I already have the live scheduled for tomorrow night. That way I was going to do it tonight, but then I was like, man, we won't have a lot of people. Like a lot of people won't know about it, within just like an hour or two. So I figured let's give people a whole day to think about it. And if they want to, they can be involved. Now it gives you like an amount to spend. It'll definitely be like 20 to 25. Like it won't be anything over that. I just want to make, sure everyone knows that. So that way everyone can participate if they want to. It can be up to that amount. It doesn't have to be exactly that amount though. So figured I'd tell you guys all those little things. I have a doctor's appointment tomorrow, so I'm going to get off of here. I have to be up there to do some nerve test, a lot of tests. Y'all, they are going to be picking and prodding and all of it. So I had to like pack some snacks and stuff because I'm getting blood work done tomorrow. And I've been waiting to get this blood work done for months, actually years. If you want to be technical about it, I should have did this probably 4 years ago, but we're here now. YOLO. That's how I felt. I felt like I kept saying that to my body, YOLO, you're fine. But it's just, no, I just have nerve damage and I just need them to fix it, I guess. But I can't explain it to them how it feels because it's not like nerve pain to me. If this is what nerve pain is, it's not painful to me. It just doesn't feel comfortable. But when, you've had things broken before, maybe that's why I feel like it's a different pain. It's just a different pain. But I just want to get better. So that's all. I just want to get better. So if they ask me to, hey, country thing, if they ask me to go to physical therapy, I'm just going to do it. And I'll make you guys hold me accountable. So I will do it because I do need to get stronger. I do. I can feel myself I'm not as strong as I used to be. So they're going to test me for all kinds of like B12 and B11 or something like that. I don't know what else they're going to test. I don't know. They're going to test a lot of stuff, I guess. So we'll see. We'll see what they test. But thank you, Mandy. I appreciate that. I'll be waking up super early. I'm going to drop Vincent off at work. He's been being amazing tomorrow because I forgot to tell him about this. But he knows I've been waiting for months to go. So thank you, True Crime Lullabies. I appreciate that. Thank you for the super sticker. That was so nice. It is difficult to explain, Queen Olive. It's like, okay, so when I lay on my belly and I put my legs backwards, like towards my butt, like my heels to my butt, I can feel this overwhelming sensation and it goes like up my legs, all the way through my body, up to the top of my head, tippy top. And sometimes it's so powerful that I have to put my feet down. I think that's what they're talking about with nerve pain. Like that's what nerve pain is. But I don't know. So that's why they're going to test me tomorrow. They're going to see what kind of pain I'm in. They'll figure it out. He's cyber warrior. I figured I'll just let them figure it out because I'm not good at explaining when things are hurting, or I've never been good at that. Used to tell my who was it? My orthopedic surgeon that I was doing great. Like every appointment, I'd be like, I'm doing great. I'm fabulous. I'm fantastic. And then I would get home and I would cry because the pain was so bad. But my mom's like, you didn't tell them, did you? And I would be like, no, I didn't. You know, I didn't want them to think that I was weak. My mom's like, you're not weak, so. Tanya said, hey, I'm out stuck on $4.99 because I couldn't change it last time or tonight. I don't know. I don't think so. Yeah, I do get the pins and needles in my legs. And my hips, I mean, I got the nerves are going everywhere in the hips too, but we'll get there. That's why if you ever see me moving around, that's why I move around a lot. I don't know how people can sit at a desk all day and do work. That's why I've got this. That's why I've got a standing desk. I stand up all the time. It's crazy. Maybe they just want you to always have to put in $4.99, Ladybug. That's what it is. I don't know. Maybe it was just something weird last night. Yeah, because True Crime Lullaby said hers is good. And I love your little Mrs. Claus beside your name. That's cute. Well, we're gonna ask him tomorrow what kind of pain I'm in. I'm gonna ask him. Oh. Maybe it was like a weird thing with StreamYard or YouTube. StreamYard's been weird. I think the more that you spend on StreamYard, the weirder they get. Because remember they did that upcharge. They charged which I'm still being charged the same because I just took off something different. You always do $9.99. You're right. You do. It wouldn't let you slide down. Yeah, because you always do. You do the yellow one. I just know the I know them by the colors kind of. Oh, wouldn't let you. That's weird. Well, dang you, YouTube. Look at that. You just missed out on 30% of $5 or what you did $4.99 or something super sticker. So a $5.99. Yeah, Faith. No, I'm the same way. I'm in bed. I'm in bed. If I'm a bed person. I'm a bed sitter. If that's a thing, it's my comfort spot. I do not judge anybody for any time if they're in bed and it's 2:00 in the afternoon, but that's where they want to sit. Let them sit there. Let them sit there. We bought a brand new couch. It's beautiful. It's as soft can be. Guess how many times I've sat on that couch? Haven't sat on it. Not for any substantial amount of time, maybe 10 minutes the longest. I never sit on it. I'm a bed sitter. So I have to have my feet up and back a little bit, and I move around a lot. So yeah, but thank you for being here, guys, tonight. I appreciate it so much. I'm going to remember to blow out this candle. I'm going to do it right now. Every time I say that, I'm like, you better just do it. You never know. You get the pain. Yeah. Yeah. Sometimes I just like to put my feet up, or I need to sit back a little bit. I guess a recliner would probably do that, but it's not as comfy as a bed. It's just not as comfy as a bed. I like a bed. I rarely sit in the living room, mostly in my office. Yeah, I'm usually over here or kitchen to cleaning, or I'm cleaning, or I'm in the bed. You've had 8 back surgeries, Queen Olive? Oh my God. I have curves in my back. I can't even imagine. Thank you, Ladybug. There she is. She says, let me do it tonight. Thank you, Ladybug. I appreciate that. Hey, Tony. So thank you guys for the good lucks for tomorrow. I appreciate it. And so tomorrow evening, 6:00, I have it on the I have it all set up. I have it set for unfiltered and titanium built. That way, if in case somebody that's over on unfiltered, because there are people that are over on unfiltered that aren't subscribed over here to titanium built. So that way everybody will be able to join. So we're going to do Elfster, and it's basically like a Secret Santa. We're just doing it a little late. That's all. Just doing it a little late. That's actually, it could be a good thing though. Like do it a little later. Maybe the USPS people will be a little bit nicer. I don't know. They won't be as worked, because they've been, I'm sure, very worked. But thank you guys for being here tonight. I do appreciate it. I will be on tomorrow at 6. I might be on for a live if I have time before my doctor's appointment. Like I'm going up there super early in the morning. My doctor's appointment's not till 1. So if I do have some time, maybe I'll jump on a live and just talk to you guys for a little bit. So, but I'll see you guys all tomorrow. Have a wonderful day. Have a wonderful Thursday. We're only got like 6 more days till the big day, till Christmas. It's $4.99 for the teal. Oh, the yellow and then the teal. Well, Ladybug, thank you. Thank you so much, guys. You guys are so sweet. Thank you for all your guys's donations to the channel, being here, liking the video, hanging out with me, learning about the case, all those things. It really makes me happy. I love seeing you guys each night. So I'll see you guys all tomorrow. Have a wonderful day, and I will see you tomorrow evening or tomorrow daytime sometime. Bye, guys.